Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Naminam Gaurvani Prachara. This is verse 7:13-10. Avyakta lingo vyaktartho manishaya unmata balavat kavir mukavad atmanam sadrishtaya drishyayet nrinam. Yeah, the idea of this verse is that how a sannyasi, what are the symptoms of a sannyasi? By the way, sannyasis, a saintly person, Prabhupada translates. Now, a sannyasi is, there are various levels of sannyasi. And Srila Prabhupada comments in the purport. And this is 7:13-10. Prabhupada relates in his purport that this verse is talking about a very advanced person in Krishna consciousness who may not expose himself in the public. Now, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the first canto that sannyas has 4 levels. The first level is, of course, sannyas. Second is Kutichaka. Sorry, sannyas has 4 levels: Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Parivrajacharya, Paramahams. And the 5th level is Avadhuta. So, at the level of Paramahams and Avadhuta, sannyasis tend to hide themselves from the public. Just like, for example, Madhven Puri, he never used to live in cities. He was actually going in the forests and staying there. When people asked him why you are staying in this forest, he said, well, I don't want to mix with public. I'm afraid that of bad association. So that is why some saintly people, they might not expose themselves in the public, especially Paramahams and Avadhuta. And Avadhuta are a case where they're talking about Avadhuta in this verse. Unmat balavat. Unmat means madness, balavat means like child. So Avadhuta, if you see Avadhuta, they will remain like a child and a mad person. Just like Nityananda Prabhu, if you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, Nityananda Prabhu always used to roam naked in the streets of Mayapur and Navadvip. And he used to so he used to go to Sachi Ma's house and he used to remove all his clothes. He was just acting like Unmat Balavat, exactly this verse. He used to sometimes go to Srivas Thakur's house and he used to suck the breast of Malini Devi and drink milk. And his age was 32 years. And Malini, I think she was like 76, 80 something. Of course, at that age you can't have milk in your breast, but he used to do that. And Chaitanya Prabhu many times warned him that you should not act like that, like stupid, like this stupid, you come to my house and remove all your clothes and my wife is there and you are 32 years. Mahaprabhu, I think at that time he was, how many years, 24 years? And Mahaprabhu was 32. And his wife, 20 years wife, and he is roaming naked. So why it was like that? Because he was Avadhuta. Avadhuta are a stage of sannyas where they don't consider the rules and regulations of society. 𝗙ષભદેવ, he was roaming naked. Kaurkashwar Babaji and Vamsiyas Babaji, all these Babajis, they are in the level of Avadhuta. And that is why you see Vamsiyas Babaji, he used to, sometimes he used to eat, sometimes not eat, sometimes he used to drink Ganges water, sometimes, like in 4 days, he will be eating one brinjal, and then he will be, sometimes people saw him roaming naked, sometimes people saw him wearing only a hat without any clothes. He was acting crazy. So he used to go to this crematory burial ground, and he used to take out the clothes of dead bodies and wear that. You might, for all practical purposes, he's a madman, and at least as far as society goes. But that's what this verse is talking about. These sannyasis, drishtaya darshaya nrinam, they cannot be seen by ordinary people. This who was that? A few devotees, when Bhakti-Siddhanta Thakur was there, few devotees from Gaudiya Math, they were going to meet Gaudshas Babaji, and they went. So they were going to have blessings of Vamsiyas Babaji, and when they went, so on the other side of Ganges, they went and they were like trying to have these blessings, but Vamsiyas Babaji was acting really weird, and they couldn't understand anything. So they came back to Bhakti-Siddhanta Thakur, again to Gaudiya Math. Bhakti-Siddhanta Thakur, he came to know that people are going to Vamsiyas Babaji for blessings, and next day he told all of his disciples never go to take blessings to him. People thought that Bhakti-Siddhanta is telling because he is a Sahichi or whatever, but that was not the case. Later he explained why I am telling you, because you will not be able to understand what he is doing, and you will commit offenses. So that's why he forbid them. Vamsiyas Babaji, I think he had Gaur-Nitai deities with him. Huh? No, he had Gaur-Nitai deities. He was acting weird. He used to tell Gaur-Nitai that if you don't accept my offering, I will break your legs. And while offering, he used to have a stick. And you have to eat, otherwise I'll break your legs. Now, how do you understand all these things? This is complete madness, and that is why Avadhuta stage is mentioned here. Unmat Balavat. At that stage, the person's the soul is so evolved that they forego all the rules and regulations of society, all the maryada, and they are like, they are outside the society, they are outside this body. That's how they are living. Now, a classical example of this, if you want to see an example of Avadhuta in other religions, just like if you go to Buddhism, you will find this laughing Buddha. You have seen that laughing Buddha? So these people, these laughing Buddha, these people, what they used to do is, people who followed this laughing Buddha, what they used to do is, they were like just going in the society and always laughing. They never preached. They used to go to some villages, they used to keep on laughing. And people used to see, people would say, what's happening? They used to laugh more. And people thought they're mad. But actually, they were the most intelligent people, because why they were laughing? They were laughing by seeing this madness of this society. So they thought that they are mad, but they thought that these people are mad. So in fact, there's a story also, of three famous laughing Buddha saints. They were always traveling from village to village. They were always laughing. They never used to talk with themselves. So once what happened, one of them died. So the two others were laughing. So the villagers said, "You are crazy, okay, fine, you're laughing always, but you one of you have died, and now you should not laugh." So they said, "Well, we are laughing because he is relieved from all sufferings. That's why we are laughing. We are so happy, and we are laughing that death is so cruel, that death took him, but death did take us." So we are laughing because we think the greatest mercy on our friend was not by God, but by death. So he's relieved. So they were like thinking all these things. So they were going to other villages, and the other person died. So he was alone. So again he was laughing. So people said, "Well, now we are laughing. You too, but now you are alone. You should be so feeling so lonely, and you should be sad." He said, "No." He said, "I am laughing because now I am alone, and all my attachments are gone. The only attachment I had was this friend, and he is also gone. So I am now free." So that's how these people. This is the example of Avadhuta. Their thinking is completely their brain is completely differently wired than us. We are not like that. There was one saint who had cancer, and all his disciples were like, they were like sad, what happened, he was laughing. And they said, why are you laughing? He said, well, you are weeping because you are stupid. I am laughing because this disease is helping me to get rid of greater disease, which is his body. So this is a happy moment. It's not a sad moment. So that is why Avadhuta are behaving very differently, because the thought process is very different. Very different. Most of these Avadhuta, they are roaming naked. Now you might say, why they are roaming naked? What's happening? They don't care about the society or what's happening. Why they are roaming naked? Because Srimad Bhagavatam says. Another example of Avadhuta is actually 𝗙 Bharat. He was roaming naked, and they asked, why are you roaming naked? He said, well, I am not naked, my body is naked. People could understand his language. He is completely fool. But Raghugan understood. He is the most intelligent man. So that is Avadhuta. But to achieve this platform, it's not easy. Prabhupada says only great personalities in Krishna consciousness can be on this platform. Because this is like the end of sannyas. 𝗙cie𝗹𝗶𝗹, 𝗙ihe, Paramahams, and then there is Avadhuta. There is one example classical example of Avadhuta in Srimad Bhagavatam also. This, who was that? That fat person who was lying, and Prahlad Maharaj, he was going and he was lying and he was becoming very fat. And Prahlad asked him, you are lying on this, you are in the forest and you are lying and you don't even go for begging. How come you are so fat? So he was laughing. And Prahlad immediately understood he is a very advanced devotee. He is very advanced. He got down and he bowed down to him, and then he asked, why? How come you are so? You didn't answer me. How come you are so fat? So he said, he was laughing. So he said that food for body is anna, but food for soul is God. And soul is healthy, body is healthy. So Prahlad, he's Avadhuta, and then he said, he blessed him, Avadhuta blessed Prahlad, and then he went off. So like that, there's so many examples of Avadhuta in Bhagavatam. Who else is there example of Avadhuta in Bhagavatam? Who is that? I'm just missing. Oh yeah, this Pingla. When Pingla was there, Dattatreya, he was actually Avadhuta. He was just staying on the other side of the road, and he was watching Pingla, what she is doing. And because of his seeing her, she got blessed and she got changed. She got renunciation in her heart. So Pingla was there. This Dattatreya, he is Avadhuta there in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many examples of Avadhuta like that in Srimad Bhagavatam. Examples of kings, and example of Avadhuta. In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam is called Paramahams Shastra. And that verse is there specifically. What's that verse? Rotati, hasati, gayati, unmadvat nityati. How does it say? Yeah. So that famous verse, evam priya so nama, evam vrata so priya nama kirtaya, jatanuraga, 𝗙cie𝗹𝗶𝗹, roti, rodati, hasati, gayati, unmadvat nityati lokabhai. That's a verse. So what Bhagavatam is trying to do with us? Bhagavatam wants to make us Paramahams. So the day you go to temple, and you start dancing. I mean to say, so everybody dances in temple, but if you start dancing and your clothes fall off, and you don't notice that, that means you have reached the platform of Paramahamsa. That's how it goes. Yeah. Unmadvat Lok Bhai. People don't consider these Avadhutas, they have no. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam says these Avadhutas are not living in the body. They appear to be living in the body, but they're not in the body. Now, the question comes, how they have reached to that platform? That's the question. Haridas Thakur, he was Avadhuta. He was going village to village, he was dancing, and he didn't care about what people are thinking, what's happening. He was Avadhuta. So, how to reach? Now, the aim of life is to become Avadhuta. Of course, in an institutional society, as a preacher, we don't want to become an Avadhuta, but by heart we all should be Avadhuta. Externally, we can be a sannyasi, a grahast, pravajaka or whatever designations we have. But internally, everybody should be Avadhuta. In our Gaudiya Sampradaya, generally Bhagavatam calls these people as Avadhuta, but Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya calls them as Babajis. And that is why Bhakti-Siddhanta Thakur, he took sannyas, the lowest platform. He took sannyas and people were saying, oh, you are so arrogant, you took sannyas, you think you are the topmost. He said, come on, all our Goswamis are Babajis, they are Avadhut, and I am taking a lower position. I am becoming a sannyasi. I am considering the norms of the society. So this means still I am in a bodily concept of life. And all these Goswamis, all these Babajis, they never considered any norms of society. They were just staying, doing their bhajan. So they didn't have any bodily concept of life. So who is superior, they or me? So I took a step down to actually help people to preach to them. But by heart, Bhakti-Siddhanta was Avadhuta. By heart, he was completely detached from everything, and I mean to say everything, because he spent 9 years chanting. 9 years he was chanting. How much vow he took to chant? No. Yeah. 9 lakh holy names. 9 lakh तो कुछ नहीं होता. 1 lakh तो हो गया क्या? 9 lakh rounds there, I don't know, something he took about it, and it took 9 years to complete that vow. Okay, 9 billion, it's written. 1 billion, somebody writes 1 billion, somebody writes 9 billion. Whatever it is, it took 9 years to chant, complete his rounds. And then when he completed his rounds, people saw him running in the streets of Mayapur, chanting Krishna, Krishna, Gaura, Gaura. People saw him in the Ganges, swimming like a mad person. People saw what happened. He reached to that stage of Avadhut. At the same time, so when he came to his hut, a paper came flying in the air to his hut where he was doing bhajan. So he was doing his bhajan in actually Rudradweep. Was sitting and a paper came flying, and in that paper a verse was written. What's that? Vaishnav Seva Jivedaya Namaruchi. And he saw that Jivedaya and Vaishnav Seva Namaruchi he was doing, and he saw Jivedaya, and he thought, okay, fine, this is an indication of Mahaprabhu, and the time has come to preach. And immediately went to Calcutta. He bought a suit, and he wore that suit, and he went to a lawyer, and he said, I want to establish a society, a Gaudiya society. I want to establish that. And he started preaching. That was him. So what happened to his madness, which he was showing in the streets of Mayapur? He actually hid it in his heart. It was there, but for the benefit of society, he hid it, and that is why this verse says this point. Kabir Mukavat Atmanam, Srila Prabhupada says, although he is the greatest thoughtful orator, he should present himself like a dumb man. A saintly person may not expose himself to the vision of human society. This is the whole point. So, and Bhaktisiddhanta, he never showed his symptoms. Srila Prabhupada also never purposefully showed any symptoms. Sometimes devotees saw him with the tears, and these things happened, but he never showed it publicly. And okay, this is I'm like a great person and have all these symptoms, roti, rodati, hasati, gayati. He never showed that. So this means that great preachers, as preachers in the society, we have two faces. Avadhuta, they have just one face. They are like mad person. We have two faces. Ghostan and the preachers. Externally, we are in the Varnashram system. Internally, we are beyond Varnashram system. We all should be internally, we should not be attached to these so-called dharma of this material world. Internally, but externally, we have to follow. So, the question is how to reach to that platform. That's the big question, because that's the ultimate aim of life. Srila Prabhupada said at the end of the life, you should be able to sit in Vrindavan and continuously chant 24 hours. That's what we are looking for. So if you don't practice now, how much we can chant? 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, that's all. Then we will be like doing bonkers here and there. But we should be able to sit under a tree in Vrindavan, chant 24 hours and leave our body. That's what Prabhupada said. That capacity should be there in us. So how to do that? It seems impossible. Is Avadhuta staying in the body but yet not in the body? You're not considering the rules and regulations, society, roaming naked in the society. That it's very difficult. The only difference between Avadhuta and us is not the difference of lust. That's not a difference. The difference is difference of pride. Pride. That's not lust. They are free of pride, and that's why they can roam naked. They can just sit anywhere. They don't consider the praise of the society as something valuable. For them, it's false. It's worthless actually. They praise and they blaspheme. Both have no value in their eyes, and that is why they are like the topmost. So, and that is why puja la pratishtha. As devotees, if we want to become Avadhuta, we have to get free of this puja la pratishtha. We have to get free of the tendency to get respect and to feel bad when you are disrespected. If you can't do that, you will not go up. Lust is not so difficult to overcome. I mean to say, at least grossly. Most of us who are in Krishna consciousness, they are 5-6 years, we are okay, like that's fine enough. But pride, even big sannyasis, they cannot overcome. It's very difficult to overcome this pride, and that makes a difference. So if you want to go up the ladder of devotion, it's not lust we are like fighting with. To fight with pride, and that is why the greatest quality of a Vaishnava is humbleness. Greatest quality of a Vaishnava is not celibacy. Mahaprabhu never said, Trinadapi sumichena, Sada Kirtana Hari. Chaitanya Prabhu never said that, how can I put it? Kam Vasna Shunne, Sada Hari, Sada Kirtan Hari. No, he never said that. Never said that. So it's not the point that you become brahmacharis, you are elevated, your household, you are not elevated. That's not the point. Doesn't matter. I mean to say, in both ashram, of course, you have to maintain certain amount of control. That even without devotion you can do. You see all these yogis and jnanis, they have good control on themselves. Even Jains, they are super self-controlled. All these what do we say, Digambars, they go naked on the street. I saw once, was walking naked and all the people were going on the side, and then females were walking behind, Jain females, and I think they are just walking like that. Now you have to control yourself, otherwise you are naked, you are walking. It's crazy. How can you it'll be like madness if you can't control yourself. So you can control. They are not devotees. So, but if you want to, so actually in the eyes of this Dugdadhari Brahmachari, Chaitanya Prabhu never cared for him. Srivas Thakur, he was praising, okay, he only drinks milk and he's Brahmachari. I was like, come on, just forget it. And this, so this Pandit Gadadhar, he was a lifelong Brahmachari, but he took initiation from Pondrik Vityanidhi, who was a householder, and externally he was a materialist. He showed himself as a complete materialist. So in Mahaprabhu's associates, many of them were householders. Most of them were householders actually. Celibates were very few. So what Mahaprabhu wants, what Krishna wants in us is humbleness, freedom from pride, and that is why Bhagavatam begins like that, isn't it? What's that verse? Paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Who is eligible for reading Bhagavad? That means who is eligible to attain Krishna? Because without Bhagavad you can't attain Krishna. Bhagavatam is Swayam Lord in the form of it's Krishna in the form of book instructions. So who is eligible? Non-envious. Non-envious means actually who is free of pride and ego. In other words, non-envious person is who is free of pride. Only a person free of pride and ego, he can be non-envious. You can't be non-envious if you're not free of pride and ego. It's impossible. So all these Avadhuta, that is the trick to actually elevate in Krishna consciousness. We have to fight with our so we say ahankar in Sanskrit. Our desire, aman and aman dena, that's the whole point. Our desire to gain respect, and our desire, and our first a desire to gain respect, and on the other hand, if we are disrespected, we have to overcome the feeling of being hurt. Otherwise, we will not advance in Krishna consciousness. In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam says, a lusty man, an angry man, a greedy man, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, all these three gates for hell, they can come to me. They are not debarred. The only person who cannot come to me is who is having pride, or in other words, enviousness, or in other words, kapata, diplomacy. Only that person is ineligible to do devotion. So we have to become Avadhuta. How to do that? Become free of pride. Now the whole question is, how do we become free of pride? Now you see a small child, he or she can dance in the public. Sometimes they can also roam naked, they don't mind. Small children, they have no idea what's happening. They are there, but they are not there. And that is why it says, anumatvat balatvat. You have to become like a child. The idea is that just like a child, it doesn't know what's happening all around it. It's like absorbed in himself. The child is enjoying in himself. And that is why he is oblivious what's happening around him. Similarly is Avadhuta. He'll be doing whatever he wants. He'll be absorbed in himself. He will be fully, absorbed, fully disconnected from surroundings. So if a child can do this, then Avadhuta can also do. But the question is, why a child is behaving like this? Because free of pride. Child is free of any designations. Child doesn't think I am this, I am this, I am this, and I am this, and I am this. Child never thinks like that. Child is a child. That is why Prabhupada says, chant like a child. Prabhupada says, chant like a chant like a child's cry. Why child? Because free of pride. There is no designations in his mind. There is no, I mean to say, a child cannot have pride of anything because child is oblivious. Child doesn't know what is money, what is designation, what is doctor, engineer. What do you mean by showing yourself? That also, no idea is there in his mind. And that is why behaving like that. So that is why if you want to behave like a child, cry like a child while chanting, you have to be free of pride and ego. Otherwise, we are stuck up here. You're simply stuck up. You see Prabhupada also, Srila Prabhupada, although he was Vardacharya, but he was like, but he was living a very simple life. People who met him, they couldn't even recognize he's an Acharya of, worldwide Acharya of ISKCON. Many people met him and they asked him like many people met him and they were like, they asked Prabhupada, so can we meet Prabhupada? Because they thought he's an ordinary old man. Prabhupada, like, he might be like 6 feet and strong and tall and very impressive. But then they saw he's the same man who is just roaming around in dhoti in the backyard. And the same man is giving darshan. This is called as devoid of pride and ego. Anyway, this whole talk, this whole subject matter, how to free ourselves of pride, that's the question. Now, to do that, first we have to understand what is pride. Otherwise, we will not be able to free ourselves from this pride. Isn't it? First we have to understand the enemy, and then we have to attack and wipe that off. So what is pride? That's a question. Now this question has many answers, but one thing we have to understand is pride has many levels. It's not like, okay, this is pride and get rid of it. No. Various levels of pride are there. And slowly, layer by layer, we become free of pride. So pride is not a point phenomena. This is pride and you wipe it off. Pride is actually a phenomena of layers. Gross pride, subtle pride, subtlest pride. Gross pride is, I am Indian, American, Chinese, Prabhupada said. Little subtle pride is there. I am what? I am this body. More subtler than this is, I am independent of God. That's also pride. Yogis and Jnanis, they are proud. Avamanina. So what's that verse? What's that verse? No, Bhagavatam. Vimuktamaninas. They're full of, how is that? Ye Arvindaksha Vimuktamaninas. So they think maninas, they think they are got liberated, vimukta, but maninas, but they are full of pride. So that is more subtle pride. Even more subtler pride is that I am devotee of Krishna. And that is a more subtler pride. I am devotee of Krishna, because no devotee of Krishna will think that I am a devotee of Krishna. No one. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, Ami to Kamera Dasa. He doesn't say, Ami to Krishnera Dasa. In their mind they think like that. So, I am a devotee of Krishna, that's pride. I am trying to become a devotee, that's okay. And more subtler pride than that is that I will become a devotee. That's also crazy. We can't become a devotee. We can become a dust of the lotus feet of a devotee, but becoming a devotee is not a good thing to think of like that. So that is more subtler pride. So all these levels are there of pride, and we have to work on them slowly and steadily unless we have this short span of life. And those who work, you see the point. We have to know where to work. Otherwise, we will never elevate. Most of us are working on lust, but that's not the That's not where we have to work. You have to work on pride. If you work on pride, automatically you become free of lust. Because if you work on pride, by pride we think I am this body, and if you work on this, I am not this body, you are free of lust automatically. Well, lust is connected to this body. So that is why Prahlad Maharaj says aham mameti. This is a disease. I and mine. That is pride. And when we are free of this aham mameti, yeah, aham mameti. And so how do they put it? Like na aham mameti. So there's some kind of jargon there. So if we free of this aham mameti, actually it is said in scriptures. The 2 words will lead you to hell. 2 words, aham, a plus hum, aham will lead you to hell. And 3 words will lead you to liberation. So what is that? Na aham. Aham is nothing. Aham is actually 2 words leading to hell. Aham. And 3 words will lead you to liberation. Okay, this is a homework, you just try to find it out. This is a very famous verse in scriptures. 3 words will lead you to liberation. So you have to. So you have to reverse aham. You have to reverse aham. Huh? Yeah. So the 2 words which will lead you to hell is mama. And 3 words which lead you to liberation is namaha. That's how it goes. Mama and namaha. That's how it goes. It is said in scriptures. And something is also related to aham also. Aham, and you reverse it, and it's very nice verse. So this is what this verse is talking about. This verse is also talking about this, giving 2 examples. One is like a child, unmat balatpat. Another is kavir mukhavat atmanam. This is quite interesting because kavi in Sanskrit means, what kavi means? Kavi means poet. Kavi also means physician, Ayurvedic physician, they were called kavi. A scholar, also called kavi. And kavir mukhavat, and a good orator and a preacher. So these great devotees, they don't, although they are great orators and preachers, mukhavat, they don't preach. Just like this laughing Buddha, they are not preaching. Jagannath Das Babaji, he could preach, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to consult Jagannath Das Babaji. Was so apt in philosophy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur even used to consult Gaurkeshwar Babaji. He was illiterate, but he was mukhavat. He never preached. He always said, I am a madman, don't consult me. He was living in a toilet. Even if somebody wanted to consult, he couldn't even come to consult. Who will come in a toilet? So that is what is another symptom of a devotee. A devotee will not try to project himself as a devotee or a preacher. Of course, in preaching mission, you see it's quite risky, because automatically people recognize you as a preacher, a good orator, like praises come, automatically will come, you can't avoid it. Just like shadow follows a substance, fame follows a preacher. It will happen. So what to do in that case? In that case, kabir mukhavat. In that case, what you have to do is, you can't stop preaching, but you have to, inside your heart, you have to think like an Avadhuta. For an Avadhuta, nothing matters. The praise of others people, the defame, it matters nothing to him. You see, Srila Prabhupada used to say, if one donkey praises you, doesn't matter. 2 donkeys, doesn't matter. 10 donkeys praise you, doesn't matter. 1,000 donkeys praise you, doesn't matter actually. Because all are donkeys. Yeah. So similarly, a devotee knows whatever praise is there for him. People are like materialistic people, their praise doesn't matter at all, doesn't add to anything. And devotees praise. Devotees are praising not myself, but they are praising Lord, who is using me to do this service. Devotees conception is that. So that is 𝗙𝗹𝗹 m𝗲𝗹𝗹. So these two symptoms are there. If we want to advance in Krishna consciousness, the two things we have to focus. First is pride, which we have to work internally. We have to change our life, we have to act accordingly, whatever it is. And the second is actually hiding oneself from the public, hiding your emotions, hiding your devotion from the public, keeping it in your heart. Don't show. Narottam Das Thakur said, don't show. 𝗙𝗹𝗹 m𝗲𝗹𝗹. m𝗲𝗹𝗹 means hiding. So Narottam Das Thakur advises in Prem Bhakti Chandrika, never show or share your realizations with everyone. Don't do that. Hide it, keep it with yourself. If we can do that, then we will be safe. We will actually be safe from pride and will not become trapped in this mama and aham and all these things, and we'll be able to advance in Krishna consciousness. Of course, nevertheless, still it's difficult. But so actually it's very difficult to pinpoint pride. You know why? Because it is said that you cannot see your eyes by your eyes. You can't do that. You can see others' eyes, but you can't see your own eyes. So you can't pinpoint pride because we are trying to think through ahankar. We are trying to think through ahankar. We are trying to pinpoint ahankar through ahankar. That's not possible. Just like we are trying to see eyes through eyes. It's impossible to do that. Okay, I will pinpoint my ahankar, my pride. That is in itself pride. I will be able to pinpoint pride. No, so many saints couldn't do it, and I will do it. It's crazy to think like that in itself. So it's a loop. It's a loop. It's a loop. So that is what this verse is talking about, helping us. Why this verse is said? This verse is not inspiring us to become Avadhuta, and we can't even do this in this life. But at least we can follow the footsteps, and we can understand why they are different from us. They are not different from us because they are acting weird. They are different from us because they are nirmat saranam satam. They are free of, absolutely free of puja, labh, pratishtha and ahankar. It's like zero for them. And that is reflected in their behavior as a madman in the society. Because the whole society, the norms of the society are based on ahankar. That's the norms. Brahmachari, grahast, vanpra, these are all designations. And so that is why when they asked Mahaprabhu, who are you? He said, Naham Vipro, na sannyasi, na grahapati. I am not sannyasi, I am not grahast, I am not vaishya, I am not shudra. I am nothing of this. Kopi bhartu pad kamlay or dasana das. I am servant and servant of the maintainer of gopis. That's what he said. So that is why it is not so easy to actually get free of this pride, because it is a hen and chick. So who came first, egg or the hen? You don't know. It's revolving around. So how to get free of this puja, labh, pratishtha and pride? We need help. We need help of Krishna. But before we receive help, we should know where we have to work. If we don't know where to work, even Krishna will not help. How he will help? If I am trying to do something so if I am trying to do something on the ground floor, Somebody can help me on the ground floor to clean it. But nobody can help me to clean first floor if I am standing on the ground floor. You have to go to the first floor, then help will come. If okay, I'll be there on the ground floor and please help me to clean the first floor. You're crazy. You have to go up and then we can help you. Similarly, if we don't know who is our enemy and we don't work on it, even Krishna will not help. Then we will be working on wrong areas and wasting our time, or the progress will be slow and dangerous, and then we may fall, we may land up into difficulties. That's this verse all about. So this is what the teaching we learn from Avadhuta. This is the teaching we learn from Avadhuta, that they are free of pride, and that is why they are fully surrendered to God, and they are the most elevated souls in this society. Hare Krishna, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗶. Anybody wants to ask anything, you can ask.
And yes, we see the hand raise of Veda Mataji.
Oh.
Can you go ahead, Mataji, and we Joseph can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. You have explained very elaborately. But I have one doubt. You have said that Prabhupada has said that at the end of life we should be able to chant always and stay in Vrindavan. But how do we know when is the end of life? I mean, we all are not going to get that much older.
Well, we don't need to know how much is our life, but we have to prepare ourselves so that whenever death comes, before that we should be able to chant 24 hours. So we have to prepare ourselves. But if we can't prepare, then next life. The idea is, Prabhupada is setting a target. We should be able to chant 24 hours without getting bored. Prabhupada added this, without getting bored. Prabhupada said, should be able to chant 24 hours without getting bored. So if that's your target, then sometimes when you're free you can chant 24 rounds, 30 rounds, 40 rounds, sometimes 60 rounds, sometimes 80 rounds. If you are free, then do practice that.
Means Prabhuji, literally chanting japa, or other forms of chanting like glorifying Leela, Gun, etc.
Chanting means chanting. Yeah, chanting.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, just one more question, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah, ask.
Yeah, Prabhuji, in one of your lecture, I have heard of the difference between Sankirtan and Japa. And
I don't know.
so, Prabhuji, whenever we are alone and chanting a little loudly, isn't that Sankirtan only?
When we are alone chanting, no, that is no. That is Sankirtan, Japa are very different things. I mean to say they are same and different also. Japa is like chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It can be done ritualistically. But Sankirtan means either you chant with devotees or you chant alone. But Sankirtan means you are chanting with your mind and intelligence involved in chanting. That is Sankirtan altogether. So technically, when we say so, in normal language, it doesn't matter whether you say japa or Sankirtan. But in that lecture, probably I was trying to make a little distinction between ritualistic chanting and chanting with involvement. That is what I suppose I was trying to make that point clear.
away from the temple, we don't get devotee association. So that the in common language, chanting among the devotees with the devotees, we don't often get opportunity such doing such
So
satsang.
yeah, so then
I'm afraid.
leave it. Don't do what you can do. What you have, you have. What you don't have, you don't have. But no problem. If you can't chant with devotees, chant with your mind and intelligence involved in chanting. That is also Sankirtan.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna. Who is
प्रभु जी,
this?
मेरा एक प्रश्न,
कौन?
योगेंद्र प्रभु जी,
अच्छा।
योगेंद्र। प्रभु जी, मेरा एक प्रश्न थोड़ा इस विषय से थोड़ा अलग है। मैं ये थोड़ा ये जानना चाहता था कि जैसे भगवत गीता में मेंशन किया गया है कि जो वेदास में जो वर्ड्स हैं वो मतलब मेटाफोरिक वर्ड्स हैं, या फिर एक तरह का मतलब अलग अलग स्तर की कॉन्शियसनेस के लोगों को अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए मतलब अलग अलग प्रक्रियाएं बताई गई हैं, अलग अलग प्रोसेस बताई गई हैं। तो ऐसे ही श्रीमद् भागवतम में भी जो यूनिवर्स का डिस्क्रिप्शन आता है, जो डेमिगॉड्स का कॉन्सेप्ट आता है, सो वो भी क्या मतलब it is like a metaphoric, some stories are using as a metaphoric or some are used as a मतलब is it reality happen, what is the मतलब devotee का perspective क्या है उसको लेके?
किसको लेके? कॉस्मोलॉजी?
यस, जो भागवतम में जो कॉस्मोलॉजी मेंशन है, या फिर जो डेमिगॉड्स का कॉन्सेप्ट मेंशन है कि सूर्य पे एक मतलब एक देवता है जिसके पास अश्व है, या वो
Oh, सब everything is reality. That's not metaphorical.
Can you put your question in English because it's the English forum, so put the question.
Okay.
No, wait, Mataji, I'll repeat in English, otherwise he'll take five minutes to speak. Okay, the question is that is cosmology in Bhagavata metaphorical or it's reality, basically, and even other things. So the idea is those cosmology is reality, that's not metaphorical. If you consider that metaphorical, if that was metaphorical, then the whole third and fourth canto becomes useless, And first of all, if it was metaphor, the idea of speaking cosmology is not to explain cosmology. Idea of explaining cosmology is to make an impression that how great is God. His creation is so great, how much greater will be God. So if you say cosmology is metaphorical, an illusion, just an example, then the greatness of God is gone. So that amounts to Mayavad in one sense. So we're trying to say cosmology and all this is metaphorical and an example just made up to explain what is reality, then the whole thing collapses. Then the purpose is lost. So that's all reality. We might not understand everything, but that's all reality.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my second question is related to the Buddha that you have mentioned, the laughing Buddha in your lecture. Like in Buddhism, there is a different sect like Mahayana, Hinayana, Vajrayana. So there are different theories in the concept of attaining the supreme consciousness. So my question is ki in some Mahayana texts never discuss about the soul concept or about the concept of any parallel universe or heavens and hells. So in Vaishnava Sampradaya, we consider as a Buddha as an incarnation of Supreme Personality. So why didn't Buddha choose to mention these kinds of why did not Buddha mention unanswer these questions? Even if at the time there was also sadhus was there, siddhas was there. So Buddha can also re-establish
because he came with a purpose. He came with a purpose to reject Vedas. And why? Because Brahmanas were actually misutilizing Vedas. So he came with a purpose to reject Vedas and tell them, you talk so big philosophies, but you're not even a good human being. So forget these philosophies and first become human being. First follow Dhamma, that is Dharma. That was his purpose, and he fulfilled his mission and went back.
But then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, then situation was there? Matlab, at the time, same Brahmana was doing their own kind of things.
No, it was
karmakajas
not
what
like
they were
that.
doing.
No. At time of Buddha, it was a very bad situation. Everybody was misutilizing Vedas. At the time of Mahaprabhu, come on, so many Madhva Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Vaishnava Sampradaya, Shankara was there. So many sects were there. Like these people who were like Buddhists were very few, handful. Like people who were misutilizing Vedas, they were very handful. Like all these Karamkandis were there. That's all.
Okay. Prabhuji, my last question is related to Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, in which there is a shlok, Man mana mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So the translation is always think of me. So as a when we read the word always think of me, as a person who is working in samsara, who is doing all kind of things. So what exactly meaning is always think of me?
You always
mentioned that
you always think of food, no? So you can always think of Krishna while doing anything. You ask anybody, you ask your friends. You always think of sex? Yes.
Right.
Like that.
So it's like always realizing Krishna.
Yeah.
That is a simple definition. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji, for
Hare Krishna.
sharing your. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I will see Jyoti Rani Mataji. Raised hands. You can ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, I want to ask that
ये खाना खाने के बाद लेक्चर नहीं करना
time is
चाहिए.
very limited
नींद
and
आती
we
है.
have
इसको भी
to
आ रही है,
do
मुझे भी
all
आ रही
the
है, इनको भी आ रही है.
devotional activities like chanting, reading Prabhupada's books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya, so much thing to do. So what we should prefer means how can we make balance and do all the things?
Nothing. Don't do anything. Best answer.
Means I want to do all the activities of devotion, but
No, don't do. You see, I'll tell you. Daily you eat all the food items?
No, what I cook only.
है ना? बस. So daily you do those activities which interest you. And then next day you do different activities, next day different activities, choose different things, so it will be more interesting. Of course, chanting we have to do daily. Reading, sometimes you can read some book, other times another book. Or sometimes if you don't feel reading, first don't read, listen to lecture. Sometimes you don't even feel to listen lecture, chant bhajan, don't listen lecture. Then next day you can listen lecture, something. So that also, if you can do daily or everything, that's the best. But life is complex, life is so many things you have to do. So then you can do different things on different days. So in that fashion you can cover all items in a week. Don't try to cover everything in a day. So that will be good, practical something.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this practical reply also. Actually, I was also having the same question. Thank you, Mataji, for this. Thank you, Prabhuji. And we have a question in the chat, and Rita Mataji is asking from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu says, I couldn't understand this. Mataji, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, Mataji, I was saying, Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita that he caused suffering to Prakashananda Saraswati with cholera, or he got some disease because Mahaprabhu gave it to him because he is following Mayavad philosophy and preaching about it, and he's cutting my body parts. But still he is not understanding. But my question is, how will Prakashanand understand that he's suffering because of his concept about Mayavad philosophy? He doesn't know why he's suffering, just like we also don't know why we are suffering.
Yeah, we don't know why we are suffering because we don't want to know. That's all. So he doesn't want to know, so he can't know. But the day he wishes to know, Lord God will reveal to him. So it's not God's fault, it is our fault. Okay.